Hello, student. How are you? I'm Dr. Shafali Jain, Assistant Professor, Tirthankar Mahavir University. Student, we discuss about Block 3, the methods of measurement of elasticity. Before discussing it, first of all, we also discuss about the concept of the elasticity of demand. In the previous video, I have also discussed it, but briefly, I also discussed it. Demand for a commodity is affected a number of factors like change in its own price, change in the income of consumer, and change in the prices of the related goods, etc. So, elasticity of demand refers to the percentage change in demand for a commodity with respect to percentage change change in any of factors which is affecting demand for that commodity and to calculate elasticity of demand refers to the shift in demand for an items or service when a change occurs in one of the variables that buyers consider as part of their purchase decision. Its relationship between demand and another variables such as advertising pressure and other factors as consumer income. It means when a change in any one of those variables causes a significant alterations in demand for a producer or service. Its elasticity of demand is considered high, though of unethical elasticity shows that a consumer's behavior is highly flexible, like and highly flexible. The more willing customer are change to purchasing decision, the more elastic a good or service is. If a consumer is willing to buy a different brand of coffee simply because its own sale that week or completely forgo buying coffee because its price has gone up. So coffee can be said to have elastic demand. And by contrast, product that inelastic do not experience large shift in demand due to changes in their purchase consideration variables. Customers remain rigid or firm is their buying choices for certain product and are unwilling or unable to be flexible as uh, tobacco products and utilities are classic example of inelasticity of demand and medicines. Uh, Most time a change in price or increase in advertising. Sorry, so we can say that elasticity of डिमांड मीन्स का मतलब है जब कंज्यूमर किसी एक जो वस्तु है जिसको वो परचेज करता था उसकी सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स के कारण या कंज्यूमर की इनकम के कारण और अनदर फैक्टर्स के कारण उसकी डिमांड को कम या ज्यादा कर दी या उसकी प्राइस के कारण उसको कहते हैं तो डिमांड कर्व जो है वो शिफ्ट हो जाता है या तो आगे की तरफ शिफ्ट हो जाता है या लेफ्ट शिफ्ट होता है या राइट शिफ्ट हो जाता है और डिमांड कर्व कितना शिफ्ट हुआ कितने चेंजेस आया उस वस्तु की प्राइस में चेंज होने से डिमांड में कितना चेंजेस आया या उस वस्तु से रिलेटेड सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स के कारण या कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री गुड्स के प्राइसेस चेंजेस में से उस डिमांड उस गुड्स की डिमांड में कितना चेंज आया या कंज्यूमर्स की इनकम में चेंजेस होने से उस वस्तु की डिमांड में कितना चेंज आया ये सब हमें इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड बताती है. So elasticity of demand describe the potential for variation in demand for a product or service arising from changes in price, customer income, advertising, and other related factors. And many factors influence elasticity, such as price, availability of substitutes, necessity, brand, loyalty, or urgency. urgency जैसे if in the corona time you see that there is too much there is the demand of the gas the demand of the food grains and oxygen cylinder is too high and the people the most people takes the advantage and takes very profit and he also increase the prices of all things so because it's a very urgent time and elasticity of demand refers to flexibility in purchasing decision whether in quantities purchased the chosen brand or product substitutes elastic demand is unwavering up to point. For this reason, reducing elastic is often considered to be a market's primary goal. To positive, to position a product as so essential that consumers will continue to buy in most circumstances. So, elasticity there are elasticity of demand can be calculated. Percentage change in demand for X divided percentage change in affecting the demand for X. Uh, Out of various determination demand uh, as determination demand which is affected the commodity price of the given commodity price of the related goods and income of the consumer so there are there are four types of elasticity of demand categorized first of all price elasticity of demand price elasticity of demand refers to the percentage I have also discussed it in the previous video but here I also briefly discussed it. So price elasticity of demand to the percentage change in demand for a commodity with respect to percentage change in the price of the given commodity. When customers are highly sensible to changes in price, there is a high price elasticity of that. This means, for example, if inflation causes prices to increase, customer will reduce the quantity they purchase while switch substitutes or skipping. It can also indicate controversially the price reduction. The consumer also increase the demand the goods. So next cross elasticity of demand. So you have to understand price elasticity. Price गुड्स की प्राइस में चेंजेस होने से या तो बढ़ जाए प्राइसेस या घट जाए तो उसकी डिमांड पर क्या इफेक्ट पड़ता है तो इसको हम प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड कहते हैं नेक्स्ट है क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड refers to the percentage change in demand for a commodity with respect to percentage change in the price of a related goods. Related goods can be substitute goods or complementary goods. And I have also explained what is the substitute goods, which we can take use another things before the first as tea and coffee and complementary goods which go together as car and petrol. So cross elasticity happens when changes in price of one product or changes a demand for another. The two products must be related either as complementary or substitute for each other. When the products are substitute for each other, a rise in the price of one will be usually cause a rise in the demand in the as the prices of tea increases. So in this case, the demand of the coffee will be increases. So so price of one will usually causes rise in the demand for another. If coffee prices rise, then demand for tea is likely to increase as the customer substitute tea for coffee. When two products are complementary, a rise in the price of one will usually cause a decrease in the demand for the another. For example, petrol and car. इमेजिन कीजिए कि पेट्रोल की कीमत बढ़ जाती है तो डिमांड ऑफ द कार ऑटोमेटिकली डिक्रीज बिकॉज विदाउट पेट्रोल द कार इज नॉट existent. There is no use of the car. So cross elasticity of demand can be found percentage change in quantity for product A, yeah, X divided percentage change in the price for product B. Now, next step, income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand refers to the percentage changes in demand for a commodity with respect to percentage change in the income of the consumer. Income elasticity of demand is related with the consumer income. As income decreases, quantity of demand tend to decline. Even if all remain the same, the prices, and when income increases, the demand of the commodity will be increased. But in the normal goods like food, clothing, and other necessities goods, consumer income increase, the demand of the normal goods also increase. And in the sense of the uh, inferior goods which are uh, this has an inverse relationship with the income of the consumer. When the income of the consumer increases, the demand of the inferior goods will be decrease because when income of the consumer increases, the consumer wants to high his living standard. So he also protects the normal goods. So I think you have to, and this is can be formed. This can be calculated percentage change in the quantity, calculated percentage change in the income. And last, advertising elasticity of demand. It's basically three types of elasticity of demand are mostly found, but it is also I also discuss it. The types of elasticity focus on the relationship between the customers one and the seller advertising. It's a measure of advertising effectiveness and that assess whether increases in advertising elevate customer impressions to the point when they respond to buy more. So it can be also calculated with the formula percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in advertising. Now, I hope, Strand, you have to understood well what is the concept of elasticity of demand and how many types of elasticity of demand. Now we discuss about the method of measurement of elasticity of demand. How कैसे find out कर सकते हैं तो there are four methods. First of all, percentage methods or proportionate method. Second, total outlay method and total revenue method. Third, geometric method or point method. And fourth, arc elastic of demand. First of all, we discuss about the percentage method or proportionate method. It is most common method for measuring price elasticity of demand. This method was introduced by Professor Marshall. This method is also known as flux method or proportionate method and mathematical method. According to this method, elasticity is measured as a ratio of percentage change in the quantity demanded to percentage change in the price. Means the percentage method is one of the widely used method for calculating demand price elasticities, and this method is given by introduced by Professor Marshall. And when price elasticity is calculated in terms of the rate of the percentage change in the quantity and requested to the percentage change in the price. The price elasticity of demand can be, according to this approach, be mathematically expressed. So it is also called mathematically method. This method, percentage, price elasticity of demand can be calculated percentage change in quantity demanded and percentage change in price. For example, when the price of a commodity was 10 rupee per unit, the market demand for the commodity was suppose 50 units a day. When the price of the product dropped to 8, when the price of a commodity drop or falls 8, 10 to 8, and it become 8, demand increases is to 60 units, and the price elasticity of demand can be also find out with this method. So it means you can calculate it with the use this formula: percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by percentage change in the price. So, this method, you can find out elasticity of demand. Now, next method is है, हाँ, sorry, एक मिनट. Next method है outlay method. Outlay method is also developed by Professor Alfred Marshall. This method was propounded by Professor Alfred Marshall. In this method, the change in price and the subsequent change in total outlay on the purchase of the commodity is compared. Professor Marshall developed this total outlay total outlay method, and its method also known as the overall cost method of calculating price demand elasticity. Uh, the elasticity of demand can, according to this approach, be calculating by comparing the total expenditure on the commodity before and after the price adjustment. And you will see here in this as total outlay is equal to TQ multiplied P. TO total outlay, TQ total quantity, and P price of the commodity. With this formula, uh, uh, with this formula, we can find out calculating by comparing the total expenditure on the commodity before and after the price fluctuation. As in this schedule, you can see when the price, first stage, when the price of the commodity 5 rupees and the demand of the commodity 1000 and total expenditure is 2000. When the price of the commodity decrease and it become half, 2.50, demand of the demand of the commodity increase double, it become double, and the total expenditure also same 5000, because जितना प्राइस घटा उतनी ही डिमांड बढ़ गई, सेम पोर्शन डिमांड बढ़ी. And when the price of the commodity become 1.25, now the demand also become, when the 4 times decrease the price, the demand also increase 4 times and it become 4000. Now the total expenditure on the commodity 5000. मीन्स सेम प्रोपोर्शन में प्राइस गिरा उतनी ही सेम प्रोपोर्शन में डिमांड बढ़ी, तो इसे कहेंगे इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड इक्वल टू 1. So, the elasticity of demand will be equal unity. Unity yani one. If in if expenditure rises with a decrease in price and decreases with a rise in price, the value of the price elasticity of demand, sorry, sorry, if expenditure uh, when the total there is no when the overall expenditure on the commodity remain unchanged. Uh, if in response to the rise in price and fall in price, overall expenditure on the commodity remain unchanged. The value of price elasticity of demand will be equal to 1. Now here, second stage, uh, when mint, uh, when the price is 5, the demand of the commodity is 1000 and the expenditure on the total expenditure on this units is 5,000. And when the demand will fall, 2.50, the demand for the commodity increase more. uh, जितना प्राइस फॉल हुआ है उससे ज्यादा डिमांड बढ़ जाए, मतलब जो एक्सपेंडिचर है वो भी ज्यादा हो जाए. 7,500. Now expenditure is also increase. It means जो डिमांड है, if the जो टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर है rises with a decrease in price and decreases with the rise in price. So जो टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर है rises ऊपर हो जाए, increase in price, प्राइस में increase होती है, जैसे कि यहाँ पे प्राइस डिक्रीज हुआ तो टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर इंक्रीज हो गया. एंड when the total expenditure decrease, sorry, rises with the more decrease of the price. And जब prices और ज्यादा बहुत ज्यादा कम हो गया तो टोटल डिमांड भी इसकी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई और उस पर टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया. तो इट मीन्स you can say that total expenditure rises with a decrease in price. And same way इसको opposite भी suppose पहले प्राइस ये था and decreases with the rise in price. The value of price elasticity of demand is greater than 1. Here prices decrease, the overall decrease, the overall spending on the overall spending or outlay shift into the opposite direction. So you can say here when the prices decreases, the overall expenditure also increases. Now we see here, if the price when now we see the elasticity of demand less than 1. When the price is 5, demanded is 1000 and total expenditure on the goods is 5,000. When demand is decrease, it become 2.50. Sorry, when the price is decrease, the demand is also the demand of the uh, commodity is not increase as the prices decrease, and it is increase only 1,500, while the जो प्राइस है वो डबल गिरा है, बिल्कुल हाफ हुआ है, लेकिन डिमांड so total expenditure है decrease. When the prices of the commodity decrease, the total expenditure of the also. So if in this response to rise in the price, rise the price of the commodity, the over, oh, sorry, the value of the price, the value of the elasticity of demand less than 1. If the total expanding यानी total expenditure decreases, here you see here decreases, it decreases with the decline in price and rises, say opposite direction आप ले, rises with the rise in price. Here commodity prices and overall spending are going in the same direction. Similar, they are going when the price is 5, it's 5,000. When prices decrease, the total expenditure also decrease. And when the price more decrease, the total expenditure also more decrease. So when the commodity prices and overall spending are going in the same direction, you can say that the elasticity of demand less than 1. Now you see it with the help of the diagram. You see here elasticity of the demand less than 1, elasticity of demand is equal, and elasticity of demand uh, elasticity of demand more than 1, elasticity of demand equal unity, elasticity of demand less than 1. Here you also describe here I also describe the schedule and diagram. I think you have to understood well the total expenditure method. So you can see in this diagram, the elasticity is more than 1 and demand is elastic. A fall in price uh, commodity result in increase of total expenditure. Here you can see also the schedule. On the other hand, when price increases, total expenditure decreases. It means in case of highly elastic demand, yani elasticity of demand uh, more than 1. Okay, now here the elasticity of demand equal to 1 when demand is unitary elastic. A fall or rise in price of commodity doesn't change the total expenditure. It means total expenditure remain unchanged in case of unitary elasticity of demand, and elasticity of demand is less than 1, is less than 1 when demand is inelastic. A fall in price of a commodity leads to fall in total expenditure. Yeah. Means price and total expenditure go direction. On the other hand, when the price increases, total expenditure is also increases. It means in case of less elastic demand, price and total expenditure move in the same direction. Now we discuss next method, geometric point method. This method was originally suggested by Professor Alfred Marshall. Under this method, the elasticity can be measured in any point of demand by dividing lower portion and by upper portion. You can see here elasticity of demand is equal to lower segment of demand curve and upper segment of demand curve. And you also see here that in this diagram, it means you see in this diagram. So geometric methods of elasticity of demand is the method where the elasticity of demand is measured by the taking the ratio of the line segment below and below the point of the demand curve to the line segment above the point. So its formula elasticity of demand, lower segment of the demand curve and upper segment of the demand. This is also represent in the show in the diagram, as I have also said that this method also suggested by Professor Marshall according to geometric method also known as graphic method and point method, because here is point methods, the elasticity of demand for up, and it is also say arc method also, but here I also indicate the arc method separately. The elasticity of demand for a commodity is measured as a point here, P point, measured at a point on the demand. Geometric method of determining the price elasticity of demand is used when there an infinity small changes. Here the demand here the elasticity of demand is equal to here less elasticity of demand more than 1 and it become infinity, and here the elasticity of demand less than 1 and elasticity of demand become 0. So the geometric method of determining the price elasticity of demand is used when there is infinitely small changes in demand and price of commodity. It means that the elasticity of demand for such commodity is different and different point on the same straight line. And you see here the same straight line, ये straight DD curve है, और इस पर elasticity, different elasticity of demand are also pointed. So elasticity of demand for such commodities different at the different points on the same straight line demand curve. And formula I also, and the formula to measure the elasticity of commodity under the geometric method is, we have also discussed, elasticity of demand, lower segment price demand curve, and upper segment of demand curve. Student, I hope you have to understood it. Now next method is arc method. Arc method uses the averages of the original price and the new price, and the original quantity and the new quantity to determining the elasticity of demand. Here, elasticity of demand uh, changes in the quantity demanded divided by original quantity plus new quantity, and divided by change in the quantity demanded upon original quantity plus new quantity, upon divided by change in price, original price plus new price. Here delta q, change in quantity demanded, delta p, here delta p is change in price, p1 original price, and q1 original quantity, and P2 new price, and Q2 new quantity. I hope you understood that. So elasticity is the elasticity of one variable with respect to another between two given points. It is used when there is no general way to define the relationship between the two variables. Arc elasticity is also defined as the elasticity between 2 points on a curve, as I also determined. And I hope in this video we also discuss about the four methods of the to measure the elasticity of demand, and you understood well the fourth all the methods. So thank you very much.